My name is Carly Furlong, and I'm a social worker and a mental health and addictions clinician for the Child and Youth team. So I don't think that there's any one perfect answer on how to help a youth transition back to school in an easy, seamless way, but there's definitely some things that you can do that we would think would make things easier. One piece of advice is to begin having conversations about what school is going to look like when they return, and begin having those conversations as early as possible. Even if your youth isn't talking about returning to school, they're definitely thinking about it. You can talk to them about, in equal parts, things that maybe they're worried or concerned about, and also things that they're excited about and they're looking forward to. Another way that you can prepare your child and youth for returning to school is going to be discuss with them in general terms exactly what their routine and the rules at school are going to look like. We don't want to expect them to memorize everything, but we don't want them to encounter surprises on their first day of school so that they can be prepared for what exactly that's going to look like. Another thing you can do is help them, once they are aware of what their routine and those rules are going to look like, you can help them incorporate that into their daily life about a week before school starts. And so if they have to wake up at a certain time, we want them to start doing that the week before school starts instead of the first day of school. Another thing we can do to help the transition is to help your youth or child with planning without over-planning. And so something that you could do with them is maybe packing their backpack and having that ready for the first day of school with certain school supplies and books, maybe an extra mask, some hand sanitizer. That would be really helpful. At the same time, we don't want it to turn into something that is another thing for them to worry about. And so if you find them repacking their backpack over and over again, then that's something that's gonna means that we have to have a conversation with them about that, and don't let them overplan in that way. Try to distract them with something else. I know I've said this before in other video clips, but again, focusing on our primary health behaviors, focusing on the things that we can control, which is going to be getting enough sleep, getting exercise, having social time, but also downtime. All of these things are going to make that transition easier because, again, they're focusing on things that they can control. An important piece is going to be to stay in communication with the school. If there are things and worries and barriers coming up for you and your child, your school wants to know about it. They've been working really hard to try to help this transition be easier for the children and youth, and they want to be there to help you. This is going to be a new normal for everyone. And there are school staff, homeroom teachers, guidance counselors, lots of people who want to be able to help. If you're noticing some mental illness symptoms, then you can also reach out to the Child and Youth team. There's a different Child and Youth team for every cluster of schools, and we receive referrals all the time. And if we can, we'd love to be able to help you and your child or refer you to another service that could help you and your child. Every child is different, and there's no one perfect way to help them transition back to school. But sometimes one thing that we forget to do is ask them what they think is going to help them transition back to school, and you might be surprised by how much insight that they have. As well, if your child or youth is the one who comes up with the idea to help them transition back to school, they're more likely to feel motivated to follow through on whatever their idea was. I'm really happy that you watched this video and these video series, because it means that you're concerned about your child and you want to help them and do the best that you can in these unprecedented times. What I ask that you do is share this video with maybe other parents or caregivers who you think are having similar concerns, and that way we can spread this information and best support all parents and caregivers the best that we can.